Smash, we'll talk about what you flew all this on in due course. But firstly, like the draft, had you thought about it in previous years? Were you looking to join the DCL for a while? Like, where was your first kind of taste of all of this?
So it all started for me back in October 2020. That's when I first picked up my, I guess you could say, the drone racing sort of scene. I bought DCL and I started flying. I started with the PlayStation remote, and that turned out to, it kind of limited me on what I could do and what I felt like I could do. So I went out and bought an actual transmitter. Um, After I bought the transmitter, I found that I started to gather a good skill, and I had an actual talent for drone racing. So from there on, I noticed that there was a weekly events you could participate in, and there was also a draft that happened once every year, twice every year. I forget exactly now, but
We've had two the
um,
last few years, yeah.
yeah, right on. So I participated in a draft last year and ended up making it through and being contacted by a team, but needed to have a PC in order to participate. So I took it as like a, okay, let's try it again next year, see how it works. And yeah, so this year came around, and uh, something sparked, I guess, that DCL decided to take on the first ever console pilot, and um, moving forward, we're going to see how it goes and how I can stack up and perform against the pros that are running on high performance PCs compared to the somewhat less performance of a PC that I would be obtaining.
I think it's
It's
important here
impressive.
to stress just how impressive it is that Smash got picked
Yeah,
by
that is
XBlades,
unreal.
and DCL does not influence these decisions, just so it's clear. The teams 100% choose themselves. So you're the very first console player to ever make it in any DCL team.
I
And
appreciate it.
that, considering if you look at the draft
That's great.
race times, I believe that you were 10th,
I
despite
was
Yeah, I
being on
think
a
that's correct.
before,
PS4.
yeah, before all this stuff settled in. I think final time was actually 12th, but who's actually
Yeah, we
counting,
we
right?
were
I mean,
right
you were
behind each
really
other.
high up.
Yeah, high enough.
Smash, let's talk about you on console. Because this has to be
Let's
explored.
let's do
You
it.
with the PlayStation thumbs, then picking up the transmitter and going for it. So, what's your transition going to be? How are you going to take what you've managed to do on PlayStation into getting one of the starter spots for XBlades?
Well, to start off, it all become easier and like obviously like an equal playing field if I were to have like a PC that could run DCL at its max settings. But unfortunately, I'm used to 60 FPS or lower, so I'm gonna have to be able to compete on that sort of 60 FPS or lower. Hopefully, I could stay at an even 60 FPS, and then I'll be able to be somewhat more competitive. But being on PlayStation 4, like you dealt with a lot of frame skips, a lot of just motion blur sort of feeling. It's hard to explain it exactly because I don't have a PC, so I don't know exactly what massive frame rate
Yeah.
drops feel like, right? So it's just like, oh wow, it's really laggy right now. um, but once I get a PC, hopefully everything becomes a little bit more just like streamlined, just easier to play. Because for instance, Oil Bando Nighttime on PS4, it has struggles. Like it struggles very hard, but you can still put in a decent time. You just kind of got to get through the stutters and all the jitters and stuff.
You mentioned you were on pad first, Smash, and then you bought a controller, right?
Yeah, I started on the PlayStation remote. It's the only thing I had at the time, and it showed me like, oh, this could actually be really cool. Because if I could do this with the PlayStation remote, just imagine what an actual drone remote would be, what an
Yeah,
actual
yeah, yeah. So
transmitter would be like.
you didn't have a real transmitter. You hadn't flown a real drone. You weren't somebody who dabbled in that at all.
No, I actually never really touched any drones or anything like that before. Like maybe their tiny little air hog helicopter, like something like that, but nothing actual like with four motors and able to fly around type of thing. So
Awesome. Well done, man. It's
yeah.
absolutely amazing. Like Jess
It's
said, it's we knew it could be done. That's why we've always had the draft specifically open.
exactly.
Top so many from Steam, top so many from PlayStation, top so many from Xbox. Get you in there.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing. Exactly. We'll come back.